Hi, I'm Tom. Today we're going to take a couple minutes and go over 5 things that you need to buy with your tractor when it's brand new. These are 5 things that you want to buy at the time of purchase of your tractor to save you a lot of time and grief and money later on. So stick around and I'll show you those 5 things. So let's start talking about tractors, especially when we buy a brand new one. You have all these options that you see in the brochures. There's tires, there's loaders, there's backhoes, there's preheaters, cabs, transmissions. Just an endless amount of things, and it can be confusing when you go buy a tractor as to what you should get and what you shouldn't. But these 5 things are very important. It doesn't matter what color tractor you get, it doesn't matter any of those things, but what's very important is that you decide upon these before you buy that tractor, because it's not like a stereo that you bought at Walmart. You can't take it back. Well, you can, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's like buying a new car. When you take the new car back, you lost 40% just by driving it off the lot. But anyway, let's start with a couple of the biggies. See, on this tractor, in this tractor, that they both have factory loaders on tractors, they're very expensive. Upwards of 5,000-6,000, even more thousands, depending on whether you get the automatic leveling, etc., and all these other things. When the manufacturers build these tractors, and it doesn't matter which tractor it is, when they build these tractors, they build a loader that is matched to that piece of equipment. For as long as that model is in place, they'll have loaders made for them. What happens is every few years they change models. You want to buy the loader with the tractor if you think you're going to use one. For one thing, nobody wants to buy a tractor later on, or very few people want to buy a tractor later on without the loader. These loaders are all quick attach or quick park. It means it's just that you've got a quick way to detach these loaders and park them. Just a couple of pins, some hydraulic hoses over there. The stand is here. Tractors like the John Deere's, as the loader's coming off, the stand comes down, like this whole front assembly that is on there will drop down and that'll be your stand. Most people, when they buy a tractor, they're going to want to have a loader on it. A few years ago, I made the mistake when I first bought the farm. I already had a tractor with a loader, so I bought a brand new Kubota without a bucket on it. And then when I wanted to sell it, I really had trouble selling it because everybody wanted a tractor with a loader. So I really was behind the 8 ball on that one because I didn't have a loader, and to add a loader at that point it was like $6,000 or $7,000 plus freight, plus installation, etc. Whereas if you just buy the tractor with a loader at the time of purchase, all that's already included and you already have it. Down the road is that after they discontinue the model and come out with a new model, you're not guaranteed that loader is going to fit. Manufacturers discontinue a model tractor, they generally have a new loader that comes out with it, or thereabouts. And so getting an old loader for your older tractor or a new loader for your older tractor is increasingly difficult. So without beating around the bush or kicking a dead horse anymore on that, when you buy a new tractor, if you think you're going to want a loader, or if you think you're going to sell the tractor at some point, you're going to want to have a front end loader on it because that makes it way more marketable. And yes, you're going to pay more, but when you turn it around, it just makes it so much more marketable that you can actually get most of your money back for that purchase price of the loader, provided you've taken good care of it. In 2022, you can still buy a compact tractor with 2-wheel drive. If you don't believe me, check the brochures, look at Kubota. They've got economy tractors are still available with a 2-wheel drive. Now, if you don't buy a loader and you buy a 2-wheel drive, you're just using it as a field tractor, plowing your garden or whatever, that's okay. But just remember that people, when they buy a tractor used, they want front wheel assist and a loader 99% of the time. Having a 2-wheel drive tractor on these just makes it really difficult to sell. Problems you run into with these small tractors is just that you can't put enough ballast on them to make the 2-wheel drive really efficient. When you get to the bigger farm tractors, the 50, 60, 70 horse tractors, particularly the older tractors, they're going to be 2-wheel drive. They have differential lock and they usually have loaded tires and they're much better. However, with a front end loader, you're way more productive with front wheel assist. When you buy your tractor, you need to determine what type of tires you want it. These are industrial tires, these are agricultural tires, and they both have a purpose. Now these industrial tires, they're industrial for a reason. The sidewalls are really thick and heavy. They're broad-shouldered. With front end loader work, particularly on these little tractors, you're putting a lot of weight on a little bit of area, and those tires right there will really stand up to the load. Agricultural tires, on the other hand, they're thinner walled. Most people, when they buy tractors, they buy this industrial type tire. They have a broad shoulder, they don't tear up your lawn too much, and if you're just mowing your lawn and not doing donuts on there, you're probably going to be okay. This agricultural tire is way more aggressive. It's an R1 tire. Great for general farm use, traction, pretty good flotation. One reason I like agricultural tires on these tractors is because they usually come with an adjustable wheel set here, so I can get 6 or 8 positions off the wheel just by either dishing this in or out and then swapping the tires from side to side. Fixed one-piece wheel that's not adjustable, so you'd have to get wheel spacers or something like that to make it wider. I've learned over the years is when you have agricultural tires on the front and a loader, you need to have them inflated to the maximum PSI and turn very gradually when you get a load in the bucket. Otherwise, you'll pop that tire right off the bead, and that really is not a fun thing when you're down back. Still make a Galaxy turf tire. They still make a regular turf tire. They make like a combination tire. It's kind of like a turf tire, agricultural tire combined, and those are kind of cool. But the point of this is that if you buy the wrong tire and wheel set on your tractor when you bought it brand new, to change that down the road, you're going to have to buy wheels, tires, and if you've priced out wheels and tires lately on anything, you'll see that the expense is very significant. Turf tires on some tractors before, and they're fine on the lawn with chains. They're okay in the winter, but what tends to happen with turf tires is the sidewalls are thin, so they puncture pretty easily, and additionally the knobs on the tires will plug up with mud and stuff, and then you basically just have a slick, and so they don't work that great. What I like about the newer tractors is the valve stays with the tractor, so when you take your bucket off and you unhook your hoses, you still have the valve and you still have use of your hydraulic couplers. With the old systems, the valve was kind of hooked on here, and that was one of the reasons I didn't get the Kubota one in the first place, was because you have to take the whole thing off and then your valve is here, then you have no hydraulics or auxiliary hydraulics. With this right here, even though I don't have auxiliary hydraulics on the back, if I needed one set, I could unplug the dump, curl, still have lift, and then steal a set and run a hose to the back. That's very uncommon, but I've seen people do it particularly with bigger agricultural tires, like the 5105, 5103, where they only had one remote and you need 2. So they just pop the bucket off and pick the loader up, and then you've got an extra set. Now the problem with that is you've got to run a set of hoses here, which can be a pain. But the point I'm getting at here is if you think at any point that you're going to need hydraulics or auxiliary hydraulics on the tractor, you want to buy that at the point of sale. A couple of friends that sell tractors, one sells Mahindras, one sells John Deere, and when you get advice from either one of them, they pretty much tell me the same thing. Hydraulics are something you want to buy at the point of sale. If you want to buy them after the tractor's out of production and they've changed the model to a new series, all these parts and pieces for these hydraulics have all moved to the parts department, and then you have to buy each individual piece, and you can imagine how expensive that is because you can't buy the whole kit anymore. You have to buy each piece individually. So this tractor, I did get one set, and I have a sickle mower that goes on here. You have a hydraulic top link available, and that's really cool for box blading where you want to change the pitch. But if you want hydraulics, you want to get that at the point of sale. This one here, the hydraulics stay with the tractor. Even when the loader's off, you just unhook it here, and I've got ports available, say for a front implement like a snowplow, snow blower, broom, etc. They're all right here. Last thing that I really encourage you to get when you buy your tractor brand new, and John Deere has their proprietary version, Kubota has an option, and to get the one with John Deere you have to pay extra, as with Kubota. A lot of these other companies, Mahindra, and this is one of the reasons I bought this, is a skid steer type coupler, and it's 2 shoes that come up in here with locking levers, so all the attachments that you buy look like this pocket, and then you curl up underneath, push that down, a pin goes through the bottom, you're locked on and ready to roll. Really easy to attach and detach implements like a bale spear, a snow pusher, forks, etc. So really, this right here is the industry standard. It's what you want, and to add that later, you'll have to buy some kind of conversion kit, which is clunky, and so I really encourage you to take a look at that if you're going to use anything besides your bucket. Also, the resale value will be better because people have more options, and everybody likes options, right? The thing I want to talk about really quickly is open station versus cab. Now, a cab can not really be added onto an open station tractor once you've bought it. So if you get this tractor home to say, geez, I really wished I'd bought a cab, you're kind of up the creek again without a paddle. Cabs are a really expensive option, but if you live here in Maine or any of the other cold climates, when you're out there blowing snow and moving hay around and anything else when it's 10 degrees out, that heater in that cab, or in the summer when you're out in a hay field and the sun's beating down, that AC is mighty nice. Caveat to that is you don't get low clearance with a cab. It is what it is. I know people who've had to buy cab glass, and trust me, that's not cheap either. Tires you buy will affect the height of the tractor a little bit, but generally speaking, whatever the height of that cab is, that's what you got. And so this tractor, not in a million years, is going to fit in that garage. And yeah, I can fold it down, but then I got the canopy. And the one thing about these that you have to remember is that when you are mowing or whatever along the edge of your fields or around trees, you got to make sure you trim those branches up, otherwise you're going to hit. The one last give me option is whether you buy what they call a standard or a synchro mesh or a hydrostatic transmission, call a shift, shuttle shift. There's all kinds of different things, but basically think about it as a car. You've either got a manual transmission or an automatic transmission. I like the standard transmission because you put it in gear, set the throttle, and you just go. People will say, well, I can set the cruise control. There's another whole story about setting cruise control, bush hogging with a hydrostatic tractor, the transmission cooling. Like I said, there's a whole plethora of things we can talk about there. But generally speaking, for a loader tractor, a general purpose yard tractor, hydrostatics are better because you can go back and forth really quickly. Field work, farm tractors, the standard transmission is my transmission of choice. This has a shuttle shift, so whatever gear I'm in, I can just clutch and go forward or backward. So the little bit of time I do use this for loader work, I can go back and forth pretty quickly. Generally, this tractor is just to pick things up and put them down tractor. Really quickly, we'll recap. One, you want to buy your loader, and that applies to your backhoe too, because they're specifically built for the model tractor that you're buying. Buy the loader and or the backhoe at time of purchase. And that way you're saving freight, you're saving installation, you're saving trucking, you're saving a whole bunch of money and headache by buying these two implements if you want them up front. And keep in mind, 90% of the people who are buying used tractors want a front-end loader, so that's going to make that resale value and marketability much better. 2, front wheel assist. With a small tractor like this, front wheel assist is a necessity. It's not really a want, it's a need. There's your tires. Choose the tires that you think you're going to want before you buy the tractor, because changing those out later on to a different set of tractors is going to cost you a whole bunch of money. Hydraulic system, you're going to want to make sure that you buy extra hydraulics or aux hydraulics at the time of sale, because adding them later is going to cost you, again, a whole bunch of money. You'll have to bring the tractor back to the dealership, order parts out of the parts bin, pay for labor, and then have the tractor either truck the tractor or have it trucked for you back. So you're saving yourself a whole trip back and forth to the dealer by adding the hydraulics up front. Mahindra's not going to give me a kickback because I made this video. I just happen to like Mahindra's. I like the dealer. He's close by. They take good care of me, and that's why I have them. When you buy a tractor, just buy what is most comfortable to you. Buy from a dealer that you like. Buy something local. You know, buying a tractor that's 100 miles away when you need service, it's a lot of trucking. Good to me. But 5 or 6 things about buying a tractor brand new. I hope this has been helpful, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.